Thanks, Dave. Actually, should be able to hear me. Let me turn this down. Hey, Paul. Hey, Sean. Hey, Sonia. Hey, Ben. Again, for anyone who's actually curious and can hear me good, I've got the mic positioned over here to actually kind of pick up the amp a bit better. So hopefully people hear me. So again, this is a, if I remember correctly, it is it's either a 2004 or 2006 Gibson SG Special that I actually traded the my previously modified 2004 um, Flying V Faded 4. This was the SG Special. It was originally in faded brown, but I took it upon myself because I originally wanted to do the V like this. And basically, what this is this is all had the worn brown and lacquer taken off of it. And this is actually the natural mahogany finish that I've done a Minwax tongue oil over. So it's been totally stripped of its brown shading. And this is like a now all natural finish. Same thing on the neck. Hey, Zach. And so I've taken everything back down. I've gone over it with a couple coats of, like I said, the Minwax tongue oil. I upgraded the knobs to the silver top hats. Everything else is stock except for the logo is actually an upgraded logo instead of the stupid silk screen. I have to replace the truss rod cover. As you can see there on the tip of it, it broke. Tuners are all stock. Everything is stock, including the frets, which they say are plecked. They say the frets are plecked, but quite honestly, I don't find that they're really set up that well. I find that if you push down on the frets, they can actually go out of tune a little bit too much, but also, another thing about this too, it is actually a roasted maple fingerboard, but I took it one step further, and as you notice, it's got a gloss to it because I've also true oiled it. So, or not true oil, sorry, tongue oiled it. So this is tongue oiled roasted maple fingerboard. And I think just to go with the natural look, I think it just kind of sets it off a little bit better, and it kind of darkens it up a little bit. And did I change the whole veneer? No. I just simply sanded it back to the veneer, and I just basically, to give you an idea, it's very easy to go online and get Gibson replacement headstock decals in a veneer or otherwise. So all I did was position it the right way, and I got pretty much as close as possible. Not that Gibson doesn't screw up applying their own logos in that anyways. So yeah, everything else is stock. Haven't touched the electronics. And probably if I ever do change out the pickups for like some, I want to go chrome covered pickups. I'll probably give the top a little bit more of a better kind of finish and kind of leveling. But this guitar, I did this guitar back in December. This was my November, December project over this last winter. So this has now had about I'd say about 4 months for the tongue oil to kind of work into it more and kind of age in that. And I think it's really started to bring out the figure more and look a lot nicer than what it did. And the sad thing with Gibson is they do this finish. This isn't a cheap finish for them. This is one of their more expensive finishes, which I don't understand because it costs them less to do a natural finish than it does a stained finish. So, just crazy. So, do have a little bit of a flaw here when I actually was taking the nitro off. The best way to take nitro off these Gibsons is actually with a safe level paint stripper. It comes off a lot better off that way compared to I was using acetone when I did the Flying V, and yeah, Sean. Some people, and that's the whole thing though. Some people they like the nicer wood. Some people, they like the flaws in the wood. Like this guitar has a little flaw there, but not a lot of people, not a lot of people make a big issue out of it. And you can see on this one, it's a 3-piece body as well. So, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, as I said, if you look, yeah, if you go and you look back in my back videos, way, 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 way far back to probably in my 2011 section, you'll actually find my first SG. That is a Epiphone, Main Korea Epiphone G310 that I first started tinkering around on. Yeah, and so I mean, like I said, I've had Strats, I've had Tellys. Well, as you know, I got 2 Tellys. Um, the Strat that's still getting fixed. I've had a few Strats. I've had the one LP style, and I've also had the 3 through 5 style, and I would have to say, so far the most comfortable guitar for me playing wise are the SGs. And the funny part is, while the LP does have a heavier tone, these things can get heavy in tone as well too. And most of them are pretty nice. I've been this one I didn't think I'd like because of the 50s profile style neck on it, but actually pretty fine with it. So, anyways, just to throw something up and again do something different. Thanks, Ben, for making me want to do a live stream. I really do like these live stream things more so than putting up the videos. And I mean, if you're a not great player or a hobbyist player or a not serious player, you're gonna show your flaws as a player. So I mean, to me, it's like it doesn't bother. It doesn't bother me, and there's too many people out there that are, anal about perfection. So, it's just best to do whatever. So, In the interest of, Ben actually getting a really killer ass deal on the vypyr 2. Like, I mean, $60 is insane. Mind you, doesn't have the nice Sampera 2 controller like I have on the floor here, but once you get that controller, you really do unlock the abilities of the amp. And so, again, I'm not using the USB as you see it unplugged. So it is actually being fully done by the mic. So this is actually the speaker's output. I got the master set at about 8 of 13. And the master volume on the actual Sampera 2 controller is probably about third pedal. Yes, Ben. The Sampera as I try to show off my junky floor here. That pedal is connected MIDI to the amp. That MIDI cable coming out the top goes into the back of the amp, and it goes like that for both the Gen and I don't know why, but the controller for the G3, the vypyr Pro, is a lot more sophisticated and whatnot. So, anyways, the cool thing about this too is, you get the one here on the left is the volume, and then just to turn this on and show, the pedal on the right is again the wah that you tap it on. So, as you can hear, it's actually a pretty decent wah. I don't know what exactly it's modeled after, if it's a Vox or a Dunlop or whatever, or even the actual PV-owned Buddha, because they do have a Buddha wah. And what you said there, Ben, is the black ones are a newer produced version of this. These are the version 1s. The silvers are the originals that came out with the amp way back in the day, and they still produce them. The black were actually more geared to match up with these vypyr 2s. Yeah, the looper in this is really good. Let's see if I can actually try to play something long enough to actually time out the looper. So let me just stop it for now. But it's basically a 30-second looper. And Sean, the Sampera 1 and 2 pedals, yes, it will work for the Gen 1, Gen 2 vypyrs. Sorry, the original vypyr series, the vip2s. They'll also work on the vypyr Pro, but it won't have the full compatibility and full capability to bring out the vypyr Pros. And the weird thing was nobody has actually said anything about the Sampera Pro controller being backwards compatible and what it would do, but that controller is nicely laid out and stuff, so it would actually kind of be beneficial to the older amp. But the big thing about the looper in the original vypyrs and the VIP series, it's only like 30 seconds. The looper is a little bit better in this, but the vypyr Pro's looper is actually a multi-looper. So that's another nice thing about that amp. And so while they're $5.99 US, $4.99 US, depending on where you look, unfortunately up here in Canada, most Canadian retailers want about $1,000 for the amp, and it's like, eee. But you can actually, you get like, I think it's multi-layer 30-second looper, so you can actually layer upon layer. So anyways, I got the looper stopped, and I was able to do about 30 seconds of looping. And again, I'm using my customized AC/DC kind of tone patch that I created, which is basically the CL50 amp, and I believe it's the middle channel, if not the lead channel. They got the amps for some reason in like 3 levels. Clean, crunchy-esque or whatever, and then like what the lead channel would be like. So I believe I have it in the mid or top channel. EQ is pretty much set the same. Pre and post are totally wound to the top full. And I think there's a little bit of reverb on this. So I'll play the loop, and then I'm going to try to kind of half-ass kind of solo over it so people can kind of get an idea. So here's the loop. All right. I've probably scared away about 5 people now. So that's basically the looper, and then the little looper button here where you stop it. You hold it down to totally clear the buffer out. And so anyways, this is the first patch. Again, I'm going full volume, full tone. And like I said, this is kind of more for like, I guess the more modern AC/DC-esque kind of tone. I kind of set this patch up to be. So I'll try to play something more kind of modern-esque, kind of more than what I already have played. Hey, Kim. Oh, hey, CJC. Great looking guitar, play some Stones. Now, I did stumble onto something, and I'm not sure if I was playing it right at the time or if I can actually remember to play it, but see if I can. What was it? Oh, now I know what it was. I just stumbled onto that. AZD. Yeah. I, like, it was funny. And, it's like I said to people, sometimes I just kind of play around on the fretboard and I stumble onto stuff. And for some reason, something popped in my head because I always liked this pattern here, which is, of course, very similar to that kind of. So, it was like I said, I was like, well, I was like, that kind of sounds familiar. And it was like, wait a second. I said, yeah. I said, that's a Stones tune. So, like, I mean, that came out of that and was like, huh. And of course, it's the cool thing, modelers are kind of looked at, in a negative way. And like, the vypyr kind of is looked at pretty negative by people, like a lot of people there are like, oh, buy the boss, buy the line 6, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, every modeler is different in its own way. And this vip2 seems to have a good ability to definitely get different tones out of it compared to some of the other ones. And that's, again, oh, thanks, CJC Guitars. Yeah, again, this is it's either, I think it's actually without making the sound go off. It's a 2008 SG Special that originally was worn brown when I traded the Gibson Flying V Faded that I had modified and refinished. I traded for this. It was originally worn brown. And I basically did the same thing to this as I did to the V, except the V actually would have been like this if I wouldn't have known what I known when I restripped this one. So this is totally stripped down to natural with True Oil. The Gibson logo is upgraded, so it's not the stain lot. It's not the silk screened one like originally was on it. Everything's done in Minwax tongue oil. The fretboard is a baked maple fretboard, which I decided for basically shits and giggles to, as you can see, the nice little gloss on it. I true oiled it to kind of give it a deeper tone to kind of match with the mahogany. The electronics are stock. The hardware is all stock. The only other change I did was these silver top black hat knobs. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, like I said, I've kind of been an SG kind of person, I think. I mean, I love the Tele, I love the Strat and that too, but I mean, if I was to, I mean, probably between I guess you could honestly say the 335 and SG would probably be more kind of up my alley for guitars compared to, say, like on the Les Paul. I mean, I like a Les Paul, but yeah. I know when I had the Agile AL 3010, it was Les Paul-esque, and I did like the guitar, but for some reason, the 335s and the SG kind of seem to fit me and seem to be better. And thanks, ZD. Yeah, I mean, the true oil to cover up the natural mahogany, really has came out nice. And like I said, this was a end of November, December winter project for me. Totally restripping and refinishing this guitar down to the natural mahogany. And I was a big proponent of tung oil. So this also could have been done in tung, but I decided to give true oil a look. And honestly, I've became a big kind of fan of the true oil over, say, like the wipe on poly, like I've done other guitars in the past with wipe on. And basically the thanks. Basically, it seems to give almost the true oil finish, but with a more durability to it and harder surface, like a poly would, using the tung oil. And it's also a little bit more natural. So this has, like I said, it's now May. So this has had 5 years to kind of deepen and mature. Like, I hadn't picked up the guitar in a while, and like I looked at it, and I was just saying to myself, like, wow, this is like really popped more in the last like 2-3 months since I've let it sit around. So, anyways, like I said, this was only supposed to be a quick stream, but everybody's been hopping on and joining, so I'm just kind of going with the flow per se. I'm just going to show off the other AC/DC patch I did on this amp, which was taking this existing patch here, which I'll just like strum again. So I've taken that patch and basically I've added slap echo, an analog slap echo to the front of it. So I kind of get a, kind of gives it more of like a Bon era Scott kind of tone to it. So like I was doing the jack there before. All right. Thanks for stopping in, ZD. Have a good sleep. Hopefully, you don't sleep past your work. So, again, with the little bit of the slap echo, like I said, it kind of gives it that kind of early, like, Aussie era ACDC stuff. Well, I think I'm going to cut it now. So, hopefully, everybody enjoyed my little play around. Like I said, this is how I am throughout the day. Um, if I'm not into gaming, not in a gaming mood, I'll either pick up the one of my guitars or my bass and play around on it. Practice the fingering. Well, I still really have a hard time with bar chords. I really should practice that more, but just kind of getting my fingers stretched in that again. If you don't keep it up, you're not gonna, you're gonna have a harder time when you do actually pick up your guitar. So, I mean, even a few minutes a day is all you need. And at the end of the day, whether you're crappy or not, you just got to practice and keep at it, or else you'll never get any better. I mean, I'll be honest, there's probably like a rare 1% that probably can't get it, period. But I mean, if you're determined to learn and practice and take the time to do it, eventually you will learn to pick up, guitar and play. Whether you want to do it seriously or casually. With that said, have a good rest of the day, folks. Again, hope you enjoyed my little demo live stream thing here. Take care, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.